right. So, yeah, you talk about riots. Riots are interesting because uh, a lot of times people forget. People forget the psychological, emotional dynamics involved. In just life, and then you transfer all that into a prison system where you have people, in cages, basically in abnormal environments, at abnormal reality fields with all the stressors. And then they may carry a lot of baggage with them from the streets that you got family, kids, this, that, whatever they're tripping on. They can't take care of it. Just all kinds of stuff going on. So then you're in here, and then you factor in a lot of other stuff like different races, different religions, different gangs, tips, cliques, whatever you want to call it. And those things, all your gangs and tips and all that, they're not only vehicles of survival for people to survive, but also to, it's about power, it's about money, it's about prosperity, because you survive and then thrive and ensure your continued existence and longevity through your gangs, through your tips. The stronger presence you have anywhere, and the threat of force, even lethal force, keeps, things at bay that may want to try to feed on you or diminish you or kill you or something. There's no difference between gangs and tips doing it and a nation doing it with its military and all that. It's all the same dynamics. So here you are in the prison, and you got all these things in this mix, this pot. And sometimes what happens, then you got the prison, running the prison, and, you got cops. Cops are, cops are cops, but cops are also just human beings. They got all their shit, too. Their shit in the streets, what they do, what they're going through, the psycho-emotional pressures and dynamics, the whole trip. So sometimes, I'm going to tell you something. I mean, I've set med lines, like picking up, like getting meds, and there's a whole line of motherfuckers getting meds. Some of them are getting, Skittles, crazy meds, for sight problems. Some are getting this, that, just whatever. But they're in med lines. And I see the nurses back there. There's been times I come through and I get in front of a nurse that's been dealing with a bunch of people in front of me. And she's just looking at me. She's got almost like that vacant like stare, or that stare where she's right on the edge, right? And I tell her, man, breathe. You got to breathe. Clear it from your mind. Everything's in the mind, man. Clear that shit from your mind, man. Breathe. And then keep pushing, right? Because all the stuff she's dealing with is pushing her right near the edge. And I thought to myself, I was thinking, man, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could do that job. Maybe I could, but I would kind of be inclined to bring a pistol to work. And when the motherfuckers got to sweat me real bad for some pills, I start putting some lead pills in their ass, medication window, right? Well, I'm just telling you, I mean, that's the type of shit they put up with. So when you got people here, not just nurses, you got cops, you got everything here, and then you got prisoners with their shit, what they're going through. It's a very delicate balance, because the cops, in their mind, they know if they're realistic, they aren't really running these joints. We're running these joints because they're way outnumbered. Even when they got the guns and all, they're way outnumbered. It turned into a thing to fucking shoot me. You got to shoot two hostages. You see, and they know this. The ones that are really awake know this. So you have to try to deal with these environments in ways where you don't push it over the edge and end up with an Attica or a motherfucking Santa Fe, New Mexico, or whatever, where, it tips over the edge. And when it tips over the edge, all of the history, recent history, and even deeper history, all those stressors and energies come pouring out, and they start manifesting themselves in that field of riot. And what happens, there's a lot of killing, stabbings, motherfuckers, just all that. Rapes, motherfuckers, rapes, just everything. Everything you can think about that people use to express themselves and get that deep rage and fucking suffering and pain and everything out of their minds, hearts, and souls. It comes gushing out. They get the burning things, they get the destroying things. And I'll tell you something, riots are therapeutic because in a riot, you're free and you can burn that motherfucker to the ground, you can destroy, you can do whatever. And this is cathartic. And what it is, you're dumping all this shit out of you that you've been carrying around in your mind and your subconscious and your heart. You're getting rid of it, man. So after that, now there's repercussions. If they get you for it, there's repercussions after that. You may get criminal charges, you may get other things. But for a moment, it's therapeutic. That's why I was telling a fucking professor one time. We were talking about solitary and all that. I said, listen, everybody deals with solitary and all this stuff in their own way. But two of the there's three aspects that are therapeutic modalities deep down in solitary. One is just trying to hang on and bite the bullet and try to occupy your mind the best way you can on sensory deprivations and all this kind of stuff and ride it out. Now, other ones is either actual suicide or actual homicide. And the thing is this, someone escape the suffering and all that through suicide. The problem with that is you can't escape yourself. Because although they can stick electrodes in your head and organically stimulate, your brain and cause you to experience memory banks and stuff like that, your actual memories are deeper than the organic brain. So that's why you take it with you when you die. That's why you can't escape yourself. But the thing is this, the other one is like homicide or even just violence, where it's cathartic. You get stabbing the shit out of a motherfucker or whatever. You're dumping that energy off you. So people feel better. They feel much, much better after that murder, after that killing. At least for a little while, they feel better before it starts fucking filling back up. The fucking body, that container there, and starts filling back up with the bullshit, right? This is why it's kind of interesting that it just shows you a really lazy nation. The criminology, penalty, corrections, and all that, really lazy approaches to corrections and rehabilitation. Because if you really look at it, you're going to address it, they'll realize how you're doing things and how you've been doing things for hundreds of years, just putting people in little cages and shit. That shit don't work. It don't work at all, not even a little bit. So, and it makes motherfuckers worse, no matter how bad they were coming in. You lay them on a shelf for 10 years, oh, they're coming out much worse. So, now you get to the thing about this riot. So, when finally something reaches a tipping point, and it could be something that was just unforeseen. Somebody could be on a yard, like say in California, and the S&Es, search and escort grab them for whatever reason and cuff them. They're telling everybody else, get down or whatever. And the dude they're grabbing, he's just having one of them days, and he fucking gets off on a cop. He could be handcuffed. They just rush the cop and butt with his head or something, and the cops spray him and start beating him. And that's it right there. And depending on what tip he belongs to, that can set it off. And once it goes, it can go into a chain reaction. And now everybody just starts going. So once the motherfucking riot starts, cops, for the most part, they're going to run for cover. They're going to try to escape. They aren't going to try to hold their ground. Once they start seeing their positions are getting overrun, and their positions are going to get overrun. If your motherfuckers taking shields, hostage shields from gun charges out in California, you got a lot of motherfucking guns. And once you're doing that, they got to shoot you, they got to shoot a cop. So this is giving you some information. Now people are going off in the blocks, rushing cops, the podiums inside the blocks, the offices, stuff like that. They're going to lose control real quick. And that's just how it happens. That's just how it is. Everybody that really knows it's a very, very delicate balance running these prison systems, how close they are to fucking mutiny at any really given time. And the ones that don't know that are asleep at the wheel. They don't really get it. So once I've been in riots where one time I was in a riot in State 10. I was in A block, and what cracked it off was it was sociological prison stuff, racial stuff and all that. There wasn't amongst prisoners. It was amongst prisoners and cops. And some blacks in there were kind of playing like they were Black Panthers. And it cracked some shit off. These weren't like real Black Panthers. These are more like little junior wannabe Black Panthers or something. But they're trying, right? And it kicked some shit off. And once it did, a guy got to fighting with some cops. And then that led some other shit. So here comes the cops. And we're in a big cell block, 4 tiers high, 100 yards fucking long. I don't know how many motherfuckers are in there, but it's 500, 800, I don't know, a lot of people. So here comes the cops. And at that particular time, I was high on acid. And I was on the cutoff where you come in the building, front of the building, you get the A block front. If you're standing in the back of the cell block, the left-hand side is the light side where you can go. Right-hand side is the dark side where you're not supposed to go unless you live there during movements. And then on the light side, all the way up to the front is the front doors, double doors that open coming into the cell block. So I was halfway up in the middle of the cell block. They got the cutoff where you got steps, because you got steps going up to all the tiers in the front of the block, the back of the block, and in the middle. And you got a little stairway, little platforms in the middle. And that's where the brakes are, too, in the middle there, where they pull open brakes and open doors and stuff like that, the lock brushes. So I was right there in the middle, and I'm trying a motherfucking acid, and some shit's going down, and I'm watching it, and here comes the cops through the front door, and the cops, they immediately go to guns, right? So they got pump shotguns, 12-gauge shotguns, 30-30s. They got some of the old World War II weapons. One had a Bauer, Browning automatic rifle. Another one had a Thompson submachine gun. And they come in and they just start shooting and start firing down the light side. Motherfuckers are in the back half of the cell block on the light side. It's like wooden picnic tables where people are gambling, playing cards. Well, they're ducking and diving, getting the fuck out of it because the rounds are hitting the showers. Like the whole back of the cell block is a showers, right? Like with kind of like some porcelain or whatever tile stuff in there. The rounds are hitting their shit. And they're shooting the joint up. They come with guns real quick, right? So I was looking down. I think the boom, boom, boom. I could hear them going off. I'm seeing the muzzle flash because it was a little dark in there. And so I spun around and shoot back up on the tier. And, they come down. They're clearing the area with fucking guns, right? They're lucky in that particular instance, people didn't start grabbing hostages because it could have turned into that real easy, right? Another that same cell block. Some other shit was going on. I was running down the dark side on the 4th tier and running low and fast. I had a couple of Molotov cocktails I was throwing. And I was running down and they just started random shotguns shooting glass windows and shooting at me. And they're shooting at other people and shit's just going. These incidences are release mechanisms. They're in their own way. They're fucking, destructive and this and that, kind of doing all that. But they're actually released psycho-emotional release mechanisms for people to get shit off and express their grievances in ways that aren't necessarily sanctioned or legal, but in many ways they're more effective in the healing process, at least in the short term, than any other grievances you're trying to do, right? So and then I've been in riots where, the whole fucking prison is taken over, and motherfuckers are up there, up at the front grills to the front fucking prison, howling through at the cops. The cops are on the other side of double and triple grills with guns, and most of the cops ran for it. As soon as it starts going sideways, they either run and try to get out of the prison, or they'll run into areas where they can lock themselves in, kind of barricade themselves in, right? And try to get some protection, like up in the hospital, because they're big doors, lock the doors so that keep people from getting inside and stuff like that. So, and then during these riots, there's people burning shit. People that have little vendettas going, they're getting off on each other. Some I've seen motherfuckers running around. They got that stuff in them tubes. It calls liquid weld. It's liquid steel and it hardens like a weld. They're going in with liquid weld, shooting it in all the locks, freezing up all the locks. burning shit, stealing shit, breaking into motherfucking pharmacies, stealing all the dope. I mean, they're going to ransack the place, right? So I've seen a lot of that shit, man. And, and I was in one time supporting dudes uh, because these were basically a black thing at that time. And I got friends that are black dudes. So, and actually, I'm supporting them anyhow. But there were some other black guys saying they were seeing non-blacks out there, some Indians, white, whatever. And the blacks saying, "Oh, this is a black thing," and they, like they don't want nobody else helping. But you got other guys out there, black guys that do want support, right? So it kind of breaks down and all that. Just turns into these melees, man. These spontaneous combustions, and they're dangerous because once that starts going down, even like in California, and when I was in the feds, now I'm here now, different. They got a lot of cameras now, but back in the days, they didn't have, I don't remember any sort of cameras in the feds. And in California, there wasn't any cameras in the pods and any cameras on the yards. Usually they weren't working because the cops don't want film either because they're shooting motherfuckers. And anytime they bust a cap, they got to have the shooting review board review it. And if it's just a straight up murder, they don't want it on film. And they want the shooting review board to say, oh, okay, that's a good shooting and this and that and whatever, right? So that's just how it is. And I'll tell you something. The thing that's amazing.
You have 1 minute left.
What's amazing is that there aren't more riots. What ways of controlling them now? They got a lot of problems. They got a lot of drugs inside prisons help take the edge off, help stun the mind. You know what I mean? And help you kind of ride through this stuff. Kind of numb, get numb. You know what I'm saying?